Welcome to another Buffalo Blue Jays pregame show. I'm your host, Randy Williams. Jared Childs is with us here today, and we are super excited for Blue Jays professional baseball right back here in Buffalo this week with the Miami Marlins coming to town. I think the focus on the Marlins so far has been the fact that they had to quarantine. Are they knocking the rust off? Are we getting a chance to take advantage of a team who's been on a break? Or are they sharpened and ready to go now that they've dealt with the COVID?
I think they're sharp and ready to go after dealing with the COVID. You would think it'd be the other way around, but apparently they learned that none of them actually got seriously hurt or injured from the virus, so now they feel invincible, and they are bringing that invincibility to baseball, unfortunately. We're playing one of the best teams, so the Buffalo finally gets it. We're playing Miami, ironically, which is kind of a little, almost like the Bills-Dolphins rivalry, if you will, except not at all because it's AL versus NL, so it's not even close. These teams haven't even played each other in like a couple years. But the problem is we're playing one of the best teams in the league to start off our professional games in Buffalo, so it's kind of a downer on that aspect.
Would it be sacrilegious for them to play the shout song after a home run?
No. Matter of fact, it should be required. Two things should happen if there's any home runs at the game. Number one, the shout song. Number two, Celery takes a lap around the field, followed by the Earl of Bud doing his thing as well.
And Conehead trying to sell peanuts to no one?
Yes.
Very good. The pitching matchup, we've been trying to forecast, look ahead. At the time of recording, we don't have a lot of information. Your thoughts as to what's going on in terms of the pitching matchup?
Yeah, if you looked at the matchups like 2 weeks ago, I could actually tell you, oh, here's the pitching matchup for both the Marlins and Blue Jays. But now they basically have it set up so that like it's not going to be determined until like right before the game, and at the time that we're shooting this, we just honestly don't know and can't tell you who's going to be going against who. I think they had some rough games in the pitching department the first couple of weeks. At least the Blue Jays have. Not sure about the Marlins, and I think they've had to reevaluate who their pitchers are. Like for example, Pearson wasn't even listed as a starter at the beginning of the season. Now he is. So I think they're trying to figure out who their starting pitchers are, and they're trying to figure out what the best rotation is based on the matchups.
Well, hopefully they got it all aligned before they come here to Buffalo. They're facing a team that's had more offensive success. The struggle with the Toronto or the Buffalo Blue Jays up to this point has been offensive production. Do you think this is our chance to turn it around?
Honestly, no. Hopefully, yes. So far, offensively, the Blue Jays are last in the league, I believe, if my memory is straight. That they have 3.10 runs per game, and the Marlins, I believe, are like 12th at 4.57. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, technically, 1 run difference isn't that big of a deal, but at the same time, in baseball, kind of is, I believe, and it tells you that they could be doing a lot better. And I mean, some of their batters, you would think their numbers are higher, and then you see that they're in the low twos, like 2.22 or whatever. But their batting average, I believe, the entire team is 2.14, so or 0.214. So not good offensively as of right now. Hate to say it.
Well, so you're praying for rain then?
Yeah. So for the weather for the game, it appears that there's 40% chance of thunderstorms on the very first game. So the very first game in Buffalo could be a rain out. So hoping for a very good early start to that game. And then the second game looks like 20% chance of rain. So I'm just hoping they both complete. Honestly, I don't want to deal with rain out games. I think that's horrible. So
the city has been getting a whole lot of rain anyway. A lot of the rain, like days that they're having rain, it's more heavily centered in the South Downs. And at this point, especially the Marlins, they're going to do everything they can to try to make up games. You know, they can't be giving up games over a light drizzle at this point.
Right.
Have you had a chance to go downtown? Have you seen the changes at the ballpark?
I have not. I would really love to hear what you've seen because I haven't had a chance to get down there yet.
I mean, there's a change in the color theme. They're going to the all blue with everything. With the Blue Jays, the place is looking really sharp. It's really nice driving past there. seeing the activity around there. They're building like a temporary building structure in the parking lot, and just it's crazy that once baseball made this decision, that all this money poured in, and like all this stuff happens so fast. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So fast.
The one thing I don't really understand though is like, and maybe it's just the TV, because I've never been to a Major League Baseball park, so maybe it's the TV playing a trick on me. But isn't it going to be a lot easier to hit a home run in the minor league stadium, or is the dimensions exactly the same at every ballpark?
They vary from ballpark to ballpark, and the Blue Jays are playing in the shortest like field in the major leagues right now. But some of the dimensions are matched. Like our left field is still longer than in Boston, for example, where they have the Green Monster, like the short left field. Yeah, there are parts of our field that are proportional or larger than other ballparks, but just in general, it's going to be a smaller field. So you might have a chance. Might be a good place for a team that's trying to find a way to draw up some runs to finally come up with something. And you have a lot of former Bisons on the team who are familiar with the ballpark as well.
That's also true. Yeah, we've already been the farm team for the Blue Jays, so there's that familiarity there. That's been there for several years now, so that's a good thing as well.
It's been nice at being consistent for a while, because when it changed from Cleveland to the Mets, then to the Blue Jays, it was a mess for a bit.
Yeah.
So do you have any plans to watch the game at home? I don't even have cable, so the hoops I have to jump through just are way too much. How about you?
Okay, so here's the situation. And I think I don't think I mentioned this already. I called the cable company to find out how much it costs to get the games. I thought, $12 a month or something just to add a few channels, and no, cost $89.99, and it would be split between 2 months. So I'd have to pay $44.99 for 1 month and then $44.99 for the other month. So I'm debating right now if I'm going to pay for it to watch all those other games. So I really want to know this team. You know what I mean? I want to know them like I know the Bills or even the Sabres when they're doing well. And I don't just want to look at a bunch of numbers and think I know what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm used to. I know that they're going to be playing the Yankees a couple times and the Mets, so I know the games are going to be on TV. And for those of you who don't know, there will be a primetime game for the Tampa game. The next game we will cover, not this one, but the next show, August 14th, which is ironically the same day the Bills should have had their preseason opener. It'll be on FS1, so if you have that channel, it'll be the only time you will be able to watch a home game without doing anything extra if you can't watch the Mets or the Yankees. So good to know there. So I'm debating what I'm going to do. That's my story there.
All right. Well, we'll wait till next show with bated breath to find out your decision. But I'm excited to see you excited about baseball, man.
Yeah. So I think the last thing we got to do is talk about the picks for the games. We can't forget that. So what are your predictions for the two games?
It was our Pearson has a lower ERA than Rio. So I'm going to hope the game comes in. I'll give us a win on Tuesday, 3-2. And then a loss on Wednesday, 1-5. Keep on getting blown out.
Okay. I'm similar to you, but I'm thinking about that smaller field, and I'm thinking maybe the Blue Jays will try to get some runs, like some home runs, I should say. They're like, oh, like it's so much closer or whatever. I don't know. I think they're going to win the first game too, 6-4. And then on the second game, I also have a loss. Yeah, we're pretty much the exact same on this one. I think it's going to be a loss, and I think it'll be 4-3. I think it's going to be closer. I think it's the home games, so I think that's going to add some motivation. Maybe I'm wishful thinking on this one, but I really don't care.
The friendly crowd, that'll make all the difference.
Yeah. And bring back Celery. Please do it.
Yeah, and the shout song. All right. Well, we'll be back before this series against Tampa Bay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Oh, I missed the camera.